All right, here we go. Get ready for a game five. Tip off in about 30 minutes. And let's face it, the winner of this game is in a great position to advance. If it's Sacramento, then they're assured of at least having a game seven on their home floor. If the Kings lose, I don't feel optimistic about this series going 7 games. Great to have you here. We are at 34 Mexican Cantina on 11th and O. Ryan in Sacktown, 30 minutes or so away from tip-off. And it's amazing how many people we've seen walking around on their way to the game, hanging out at different establishments. Come on down and see us here at 34 Mexican Cantina.
Yeah, it's been great, Grant. I was super excited today. Probably the biggest game in Sacramento history since 2002, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I mean, I think game 7 in 2004 at Minnesota, obviously the magnitude of that game, but that was on the road. For a home game, yeah, I think you got to go back to game 5 of 2002.
Yeah, and we're seeing so many fans walk by. G1's going to be rocking, and the guys are getting ready on the court right now, and we're going to get you ready for tip-off.
All right, so all eyes are going to be on De'Aaron Fox early in this game. I believe in the first 5 minutes, we will have a pretty good idea of his effectiveness. The one thing I would worry about, the Warriors are going to be hawking his hand. They're going to be going after his hand. He is at some point going to get hit on that finger. That will be a real interesting time of this game.
Yeah, it will. And we're not going to know until it happens. But yeah, he's going to be tugged at. He's going to be pulled at. It's not going to be shooting, Grant. It's going to be all the things you mentioned, defense, getting deflections. He's been a steal artist this season, and especially this series. So we'll see how he reacts. But the good news is Sabonis played through a similar injury, and I think De'Aaron's going to be all right.
All right. If you want to hit us up on the chat message, we certainly would encourage you to do so. We're so happy that you're with us. Yeah, you're going to need some Bibby-like Game 5 magic, but you're going to need Kevin Huerter. You're going to need Domantas Sabonis. Sabonis, to me, has been very puzzling in this series. If you had told me that Sabonis would struggle offensively as much as he has, I would say, no, not going to happen. But he's really not been a factor offensively in this series, and I'm talking about scoring.
No, he hasn't. And I think part of that's the way he's been played this series, but he's been hesitant to take shots when he's open. Sometimes he's been open and he passes up a good shot for what he thinks is a better shot, and it doesn't work out well. But one thing's for sure tonight, they are going to need him, and he is going to have to be on the floor and be a facilitator to help Fox.
All right, the Knicks, they are on to round 2. They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Grizzlies are blowing out the Lakers. So that series looks like it's going to be moving on to LA for a game 6. 103-79 right now with 3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter.
How about the New York Knicks, the East Coast Kings right now? Wild atmosphere in MSG.
Knicks and Kings in the NBA Finals.
Could you imagine that, Napes? Where would you land on that one?
I'd probably go to Europe for the series. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
I'd probably be on the French Riviera or Switzerland. I'd go to Switzerland. I'd be neutral. I'd go to Switzerland. I'd be hanging out in Switzerland for 2 weeks. That's exactly where I would be.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, my God. All right. So, Malik Monk, the bench, Davion Mitchell, right?
Yes.
Who else do you think we may see play a significant role off the bench in this game?
Well, I mean, Terrence Davis comes to mind, certainly. He's going to be either awesome or he might struggle a little bit. But I think it really is going to be Monk, Lyles, and Davion Mitchell. Those are the 3 that are going to have to be huge for the Kings. You might even see a little Kessler Edwards possibly on defense with Fox's hand if that becomes a problem.
I appreciate you love the rant. I enjoy doing the rant, so I'm glad that you had a chance to check it out. I love Lucerne, Switzerland, too. I love all of Switzerland.
Anybody from Switzerland on the show right now? Anybody in the chat?
If they are, let me know where you're at. I might be hanging over there in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I've been all over Switzerland. It's probably my favorite country in the world. Very difficult to beat Switzerland. That country is the best.
It's very cool.
Spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. All right, we're not talking about Switzerland right now, though. We're talking about game 5. It's the Kings. It's the Warriors. And let's face it, I mean, it goes without saying, the winner of this game is in the driver's seat big time. I don't see the Kings winning this series if they lose this game 5. I could see the Warriors forcing a game 7, but I do not see the Kings coming back for game 7 if they lose this game. I just don't see it.
Yeah, it would be very difficult for the Kings to win a game 6 in San Francisco, but anything's possible. This team's been very good with their back against the walls, but for all intents and purposes, this is game 7 for Sacramento because you got to get this one to get to 7.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the one.
All right, Tony Brothers, the crew chief in this game. Let's hope we're not talking about the officiating after this game. All right, let's hope we are not talking about the officiating after this game. That's first and foremost.
Yeah, a lot of criticism this first round across the board on the officiating, but let's have a clean one tonight for both teams.
Yeah. Again, the 106-84 is the score in the Memphis Lakers game, and the Knicks have beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. So happy that you were with us, and we'll be with you at halftime and the post-game show as well. Don't forget about New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They have been in Sacramento for well over 20 years. You go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. And remember, they're available 24/7. So if you have an emergency in the middle of the night, no problem. They'll be there for you. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. All right, the Warriors, I don't buy no momentum. They don't have the momentum, all right? They don't have the momentum any more than the Kings had the momentum when they got blown out in Game 3. I think this is going to be another tight game. The unknown is De'Aaron Fox.
Right.
If you get the A version of Fox, I think Sacramento wins this game. If you don't get the A version of Fox, I think the Kings lose this game.
Yeah, and I would even throw in get off to a quick start on that. The Kings have the potential to possibly come out and get the Warriors off guard, especially if they're thinking Fox is not going to be effective. But De'Aaron is going to be a key to this. There's no doubt, and they have got to play well in that first quarter. They can't have a slow one.
Yeah, no, they cannot. And the lulls in this game, which we didn't really see in the first 2 home games, so. I would love to be able to look into a crystal ball and tell you how De'Aaron Fox is going to be, but we don't know. We don't know. I told you 48 hours ago that I would be shocked if he didn't play. All right. So on Monday, I told you I'd be shocked if he didn't play. There was little doubt in my mind that he was going to play. We just don't know to what effectiveness he'll be on the floor tonight for Game 5. And as far as Sabonis getting double teamed in the paint, that may be true, but he's not getting double teamed 10, 15 feet away from the basket where nobody's in the zip code of him. So he's got to shoot the freaking rock. He's got to shoot the ball.
And when he does that and he makes a couple, that completely changes what Golden State does on him, and that opens things up for everybody else.
Absolutely. 100% correct. All right, I want to tell you about Gold Country Veterinary Hospital. They are located in Auburn. They serve the foothills and the greater Sacramento area. They pretty much do it all right? Whether it's urgent care, whether it's surgeries, whether you have an ACL issue, they do dentistry, they are top protocols in pain management. They are awesome. Gold Country Veterinary Hospital in Auburn, serving the foothills and the greater Sacramento area. Kings and Warriors tip off in about 30 minutes, all right? Game 5, Game 6 in 48 hours from now in San Francisco, and if necessary, a Game 7 back here, in all likelihood, Sunday afternoon. I don't know what the time would be, but figure it wouldn't surprise me if it was a 12:30 game. But again, I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, usually the Game 7s are pretty early, especially on a Sunday. So we'll see. Let's get past this one tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I agree with you about Herter. He's got Klay Thompson's in his head. Klay Thompson is really giving him fits. It's not a good matchup. Not a good matchup for Kevin Herter. He's going to have to figure it out because they really need him. And it's got to get better. Plain and simple. It's got to improve.
Yeah, you need to see the Kevin Herter that we saw in Game 2. That is exactly what you need tonight. And I would even say expect Herter to do some pick and roll tonight, especially with Sabonis if Fox is having issues on that dominant hand. That could really open things up for guys like Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles. So Kevin's key to what the Kings do tonight.
Lydia, you can't talk about, well, this person played with this and that play. It doesn't matter. All injuries are different, okay? So the fact that Kobe Bryant played with a broken finger in the playoffs doesn't really mean anything. I mean, I know that you want to talk about this player and that player. And, I've heard comparisons to Sabonis. Well, you can't compare what De'Aaron Fox has to Sabonis. Sabonis had an injury to his thumb on his offhand. Fox has got a broken index finger at the tip of his shooting hand. So you can't compare that to Kobe Bryant or Domantas Sabonis. All these injuries are unique. The reality is he's going to play. He's going to start. And I will tell you this about De'Aaron. If De'Aaron thought that he would be a detriment to the game, he wouldn't play. I know De'Aaron Fox. Trust me. If he thought that he would be a detriment to the team, he wouldn't play. I'll leave you at that.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, Lydia. De'Aaron Fox is playing with a broken finger. So let's just put a period on that. But also, Fox being on the floor, even if that finger is bugging him, he's not playing great, but he's somewhat effective. That still helps the Kings. They still have to pay attention to Fox as a threat.
Yeah. Well, again, I think we're going to find out in the first 5 to 10 minutes of this game whether De'Aaron Fox is going to be effective or not. Okay? I absolutely think we'll know early on in this game. And Mike Brown has got contingencies in place.
Yep.
So that if Fox is not able to perform to a level of success, they'll take him off the floor and they'll go in a different direction.
Yes, they will. And that's where it becomes key that Sabonis does not get in foul trouble, because we have seen the few times this season when Sabonis and Fox are both not playing in a game, what can happen to this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
No shot creation.
All right, so Andrew Wiggins, game 1 to now, there's been a big improvement in his game. So I just think as these games go on, it makes the Warriors a little bit better because he's getting more and more of the rust off him. And that's another aspect that puts the Warriors, I think, in a feeling pretty good with this series tied at 2-2.
Sure. I mean, he has gotten gradually better, but you could almost say the same thing about the Kings from game 4 to tonight to game 5 with Keegan Murray, right? They're feeling pretty good about the way that he played, and that can, kind of be a game changer for them as well. But Wiggins has played spectacular for this team, or for the Warriors, I should say.
Well, I don't think Davion Mitchell is any more vital than he's been in the previous 4 games. I mean, whether De'Aaron Fox plays his usual minutes or he doesn't, Davion Mitchell's vital because of his defense on Steph Curry. So I don't think that changes regardless of Fox or not. Obviously, he'll play more if Fox is not able to be successful on the floor, but he's going to be vital no matter what.
Well, Grant, you're right. But I would say that on the offensive end, it becomes a little bit more vital that Davion get more involved should Fox not be as effective.
Yes, I think that's a good point. Absolutely. Here's a very good question. How much will the broken finger affect his defense? Loose balls, steals, and rebounding. Rebounding, I don't think that big of an issue. Steals, yes.
Yes.
Loose balls, yes.
Yep. And just defending in general, having your hands out. You just think about if you had a broken finger or a limb like that, you're going to be a little timid to put those arms up. You want to keep your hands high on defense, but that's where it's kind of that fine line for him.
Good point. Hello to Costa Rica. Very happy to have you here and everyone else that's watching around the world. Don't forget, we've got halftime and postgame coming up for you tonight. And you know what, Lydia, you're right. They do need to play an A game. They're not winning this game, in my opinion, with anything less than an A game. They're not. They have to have their A game. And I think in order to have their A game, Fox has got to be close to himself. Doesn't have to be all the way, but he's got to be close to where he's been in the first 4 games.
Yeah, and there's ways to get Fox in positions to be successful where he doesn't have to be bringing the ball up all the time. Mike Brown can draw up different plays, different things that can benefit Fox without having to use that finger as much.
Having a little internet connection. That is not good.
Interruption. I'm here.
All right, you carry on until I get my internet working.
All right, so little technical issue, no worries. We are getting closer to.
There we go. I'm back.
Yep. Grant is back. All right.
So maybe I'm looking at this too sternly, that I'm putting too much on Fox. I think Fox has been the best player on the floor, period. He's been the best player in this series. And 3 of the 4 games have been very close. And Fox has been an A-plus player. Why would I think that the Kings are going to be able to beat the Warriors if Fox is not at the A level that we've seen in the previous games.
Well, yeah, there's no argument there, Grant. I mean, he has Fox has taken that step to superstar in this series, regardless of what happens from this point forward. But you got to be optimistic. Look, he hit that shot with the 3-pointer to tie or to be down 1 or 2 with a broken finger. He did that, and it wasn't even splinted. So, like you said, the first 5 minutes, that's what's going to tell us what's going to happen with this game. But you need Fox. You have to have him.
The difference in that, you have adrenaline. The
Yes.
injury is new, so you're not dealing with, I understand what you're saying, but I would not use that as my barometer to about how Fox is going to shoot the ball tonight. Yeah, we just don't know. All right, I do want to tell you about Bennett's. We were there for game 1. We appreciate their hospitality. They have a phenomenal menu, prime seafood and steaks, over 50 different types of wine available by the glass. They have weekend brunch. They have the prime rib on the weekend. Just go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. You can check out their menu and everything that they offer. And hey, here's good news. If you live in the Rockland area, they're coming very soon to the Blue Oaks Town Center. Roseville, Sacramento, and soon to be Rockland. That's Bennett's. We appreciate them being a part of If You Don't Like That. All right, if you are new to us, we would really appreciate if you would hit the subscribe button. By the way, it does not cost any money to hit the subscribe button. Doesn't change your life. You're not going to get a bill. You're not going to get emails. It just notifies you of whenever we do shows. So if you haven't yet hit the subscribe button, please do so. We'd be really appreciative. And give us a thumbs up, hit the like button, and we will move on with the Kings and the Warriors. A game 5 tip-off coming up in about 20 minutes. All right? And that place is already jumping and rocking.
Oh, absolutely. These fans are ready to go. We've seen them walking by. They are ready. This city.
How about
is
the
ready.
weather? Is this perfect? Or
oh,
what?
It's a beautiful night. Absolutely beautiful. Not as beautiful as Switzerland if the Kings and Knicks make it to the finals, but this is beautiful for Sacramento.
No, it's not as very few places are as beautiful as Switzerland. Like
frozen. Yeah, Switzerland is a nice little place. But anyways, we're talking Kings basketball, getting ready to tip off game 5 from Sacramento. All intents and purposes, the game for Sacramento that they have to have. Fox is in the lineup tonight. He has been warming up. Shot looks decent for warm-ups, but that's not gameplay. I think Grant brings up a great point that these first 5 minutes are going to be critical to understanding how he's going to give it a go tonight.
All right. Again, if you are on the stream and you want to interact with us, just drop us a message on the chat line and we will try to answer it if we can. No, honestly, based on regular season, I think Sabonis has played the worst.
Yeah, you
really
can make that argument. Well, Keegan, you can make that argument too. But
I didn't expect a lot from Keegan in his first ever playoff.
True.
I wasn't expecting anything from him. I was expecting a lot from a 3-time All-Star in Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah, and somebody that did receive All-Star votes, not first place votes, but somebody that did get votes.
So, again, I'm not saying that he's been totally ineffective because he still rebounds, he still passes. But, I mean, what do you think of when you think of Sabonis? You think of also a guy that's going to score 20-plus every night. And the Warriors have done a great job on him. And I think Sabonis is, I don't know if his confidence is lacking or what, but it looks really bad when he's being completely unguarded 15 feet out and doesn't shoot the ball.
Yeah, and it does, Grant. And I think that hopefully changes tonight. It has to change tonight, but it started in game 1 for Sabonis. I said all-star votes, MVP votes, I meant. Yep. But yeah, Sabonis has got to get going, whether it's up here or physically. He's got to get going for this team.
All right, so Connor's got a triple-double from Sabonis tonight. You heard it here first. I love that.
All right.
That's good.
All right,
That's
Connor.
Good. I think Keegan Murray at home after what he did in game 4, I expect him to be relaxed, and I expect him to have another good game. I really do.
Yeah, and another guy that needs to shine. The Kings need to plan on making up at least 15 to 20 points that Fox normally scores.
Yeah. No, you can't have any lows tonight. This is, you can't.
Well, Grant, let's talk about lulls for a second. How about that end of the second quarter lull that we've seen in many of these games?
Way
That is
too often.
affecting this team way too much.
The last 2 minutes of the second quarter, I think many times that you and I have been doing shows, we talk about that, and we're like, gosh, the Kings lost the momentum of the game right before the half, and then very often it carries over to the start of the third quarter.
Right.
Let's hope that doesn't happen tonight.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
All right. Well, yes, again, we appreciate everyone. Kevin Herter, absolutely. I don't know if he has to hit the majority. I mean, I think if he's around the high 30s or 40%, I'll take that in a heartbeat. All right? I'll take that in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think one of the things for Kevin Grant is he's had to play really hard on the other end of the court this series, chasing Thompson around. Not a lot of teams play like the Warriors. So,
good point.
That plays into it. So get him set up, get him some good looks.
All right, I want to tell you about Fosters and Paws, a group of animal advocates. They work primarily with dogs and shelters. And a couple of shows ago, we told you they had 24 puppies available for adoption. So if you are looking to adopt, go to fostersandpaws.org, and you can check out their mission statement and everything they're all about. They're fabulous. I love the fact they work with young people and teach them the lifelong benefits of having a pet. And if you're unable to adopt, listen, they really appreciate the donations. It helps with the food and the shelter. Just go to fostersandpaws.org. All right, what's your prediction tonight? Give me a final score.
I've called these ones a little bit too far. You've been closer. I think it's gonna be a little bit more low scoring. I'm gonna say Kings 126, Warriors 123. 126, 123.
I'm gonna say the Warriors 122 and the Kings 114.
Oh, you're going that low. Okay. Yeah. All right. That means hopefully the Kings win. Remember, guys, Grant always goes opposite. And get your predictions in here. Haunted Horse has the Kings 107, Warriors 105. Let's see. We've got Kings 124, Warriors 120. We've got Kings 117, 110. We have, got the Kings 125, 120. Grant, they're coming in hot and heavy.
I like it. That's good. Sir. Keep them coming. Absolutely. Yep. Keep them, send them on the way.
Yes.
Absolutely. And
we'll be back here at halftime and for postgame as well. So make sure you join us for that. Sea-Dog has the Kings. Man, you guys are moving so quick. I can't keep up with them. Sea-Dog had the Kings winning 119-115. Matthew, Kings 140. Warriors 116. He's going high. Let's see. We've got Kings 125, 112, Kings 114, 110. A lot of Kings. Oh, we got our first OT prediction. Kings in overtime, 133, 130. I can see overtime tonight. What do you think, Grant?
I would love to see overtime. By the way, on the shirts, why don't you give an update? Because you sent me an email today, and for the folks that want to know about the shirts, maybe you could help them out a little bit.
Yeah, we had some shirts returned because shipping address was different than the billing address, so we apologize for that. Those are back out, or I am sending those back out, so thank you for your patience on that.
All right, we got 122 to 117. Well, as far as rooting for the Kings or not rooting for the Kings, he's different to me. I'm not rooting for the Kings. I'm not rooting for the Warriors either. I'm rooting for the Sacramento Kings fans. So I've been very clear about that. He's rooting for the Kings.
I'm a Kings fan.
I'm not. Yeah. I'm rooting for the fans. I've told you that from day one this season. I have not changed anything. I'm so thrilled for the fans. That's why we're doing these live shows, so we can interact with the fans. The fans, to me, are the winners here. So obviously they're going to be happy if the Kings win. But me, when I watch the games, I'm watching the game from a different perspective. I'm not really rooting for a team. I'm just hoping for a good game, well-played game, no issues with the officials, and I'm rooting for the fans. The fans here, again, there's no fan base in America that deserves this more than the Sacramento Kings fans, and I love it for them.
Yep, win or lose, this fan base has waited a long time for moments like this, and they've got the payoff in Game 1 and 2. The Kings need to give it to them tonight in Game 5.
All right, so again, we are going to be coming up at halftime. If you are new to us, we really would appreciate the thumbs up. Very simple. Hit that thumbs up, hit the like button. and we will appreciate it. Overtime, yeah. I mean, that's what he thinks.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with overtime.
Yeah.
We'll be here a little bit later, but that's all right. If they win, we'll stay here to midnight, right? We don't care.
Oh yeah, we'll be here all night. Heck yeah. Great food here. So make sure you come down too. Come say hi to us.
Absolutely. We are at the 34 Mexican Cantina right on 11th and O. So very easy. Come on out and see us. All right. Well, thank you for your support. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right. So here we go. Billing address matching the postal address on a shipment is real. I had pasta that couldn't get properly charged for months because of the issue. Oh, and Kings win by 4. Well, thank you very much
All
for the
right.
shipping and the score. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Final thoughts before we get ready to watch Game 5.
Quick start, like we said, and pay attention to Fox. He looked okay in warmups, but gameplay is much different than warmups. So, quick start and we didn't say it yet. Keep the turnovers down and the assists high. And Sabonis,
the Warriors are going to be going after that hand. You and I both know that.
It. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. So, run the offense through some other guys and get Fox to his spots in different ways. How about you, Grant?
Assist to turnover ratio. That's what I'm looking at. That's the barometer that I use to judge whether the Kings are playing well or not. Assist to turnover ratio, Ryan. That's what I'm looking at, number 1.
Very good. And that is a excellent barometer for this team, Kings team.
We'll be back at halftime. Kings and Warriors next. Enjoy it, everybody. We'll talk to you in a little more than an hour right here on If You Don't Like That.